people? It's the one and only DJ the Great back again with another video. And today I'm gonna give you my reaction to the first initial AP Top 25 rankings after a wild and chaotic week one. We did have some guys we had some couple teams that made major jumps, and we had a unlikely hero that made a major that had a big tumble in the polls. And I'm about to get into that right now. All right, your top 10 is Ohio State, Penn State at number 2, LSU at number 3, Georgia at number 4, Miami at number 5, Oregon at number 6, Texas at number 7, Clemson at number 8, Notre Dame at number 9, and South Carolina at 10. That's your top 10. So let's get into this top 10 for a moment. Me personally, Ohio State should have started out the season at number 1. I mean, by all means, they are the defending national champions. Yeah, they lost a lot, but as you can tell how they played Saturday, they lost a lot, but they well coached up, and the guys that we felt like they lost, they ain't missing a beat. I mean, they held Texas in check. I mean, they both held each other in check. So at the end of the day, man, for what it's worth, I feel Ohio State should have been number 1 to start the season. Penn State, they didn't move. They stayed where they was at. All right. LSU made a jump. They jumped up 6 spots after they beat Clemson. Now, everybody was saying with Clemson, excuse me, not Clemson, with LSU was that, we know what their offense can do, but what can their defense do? And, for the past 2 seasons, their defense been, lackluster at best. But this year, it seemed like that defense took a turn for the better. They held Clemson in check. Yeah, they won by 7, but they did enough. They went into a hostile environment at Death Valley Junior, and they handled business. So you got to give them that. Number 4, which is my Bulldogs, we only moved up 1. I mean, me personally, we should have stayed at 5. Like, that's just my thought. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, they were gonna move us up anyway. But I like that 5 spot. I mean, I like to be, in the middle of things. Like, I just feel like the higher you go, man, it's just more bad luck happen to you throughout the season, and it's a big target on your back. Miami, you know what I'm saying? They came in at 5 this week. They made a big jump. They jumped from 10 to 5. Now, it was a lot of question marks coming with Miami with Carson Beck. Everybody feel Carson Beck was a turnover machine at Georgia his last year. But like I keep telling people, like, when you don't have no run game, your receivers dropping the ball, and your offensive line not blocking, I mean, that's a disaster waiting to happen. Now it seems like Carson Beck done got new life in Miami. He got an offensive line behind him or in front of him. Got a nice running game behind him, and he's got receivers. His receivers catching the ball. So, hey, man, I feel like that was a good move for Carson Beck. And it's a little message for the Georgia fans, man. Like, man, we got to stop, like, coming at Carson Beck. Like, he gave us 2 good years. At the end of the day, like, Carson Beck was gone after last year anyway. Rather it was the draft or whatever. Like, he had already entered the draft, so he was already gone. So I don't see what the record's about, because he decided to hop back in, withdraw his name from the draft and hop in the portal and go to Miami. At the end of the day, the man did what was best for him. And I will hope anybody who, would do the same thing. You got to do what's best for you and your future. You can only control what, you can control. Like, we got to get off of that. Like, we got Gunner Stockton, man. We got to get behind Gunner Stockton. Like, we can't be worrying about hoping and praying on, Carson Beck downfall. Because at the end of the day, like, with that team he got around him now, like, he ain't finna drop off. So, if you one of them Georgia fans that's going to continue to hate and, have something to say about the man, then you need to clean your spirit, man. You need to get yourself right. Because if you hoping for him to downfall down there with all that stuff around him, I don't see that happening. So, but that's that. I just want to get out of my chest, man. I just feel like when Georgia fan base do that, man, you make our fan base look bad. Like, every time somebody transfer out of there, like, everybody got something to say, like, about that person that's transferring. Like, at the end of the day, man, like, we got talent. Like, people, that's just the nature of the game now. People going to transfer in and transfer out. Like, that's just what it is. So we're going to have to get used to that. That's the new wave of the game now. It is what it is. So, yeah, y'all did Justin Field the same way. Like, we got to stop that, man. Like, for real, that make our fan base look bad as a whole. Get out your feelings, man. It is what it is. All right, anyway. Texas, they fell 6 spots, you know what I'm saying? They was number 1. They went on the road to Ohio State. They lost. Yeah, Arch Manning in the first half. It seemed like he was coming along in the second half, but you know, it was too little, too late. So yeah, that's what it is. Clemson, they fell 4 spots. They fell down 8, you know, due to they loss. Notre Dame fell 3 spots. South Carolina rolls up 3 spots. They number 10. All right. Number 11 is Illinois. Number 12 Arizona State. Number 13 is Florida. Now, the biggest jumper we had was Florida State. Florida State was unranked. Florida State is now ranked the number 14 team in the country. Now, me personally, I had them coming in somewhere between 19 and 22. I wouldn't expect them to jump this high, but the voters say otherwise. You know, they did knock off Alabama, and they did it in dominant, well-coached fashion. I got to give them that. Like, Alabama is definitely a shell of them old self, and I don't care about the fan base getting mad about that. It's time to face the music. It's time to face reality. Alabama is not the same Alabama it was when you had Coach Saban roaming that sideline. They done lost that in a year and a half. You can tell Coach Saban ain't done no more. Like, you don't see the effort from Alabama. You don't see the discipline from Alabama. You don't see the they just missing a lot, man. Like man, I can go on and on, but this ain't a video about that. I'll make another video talking about that, but this ain't a video for that. We talking about the rankings, but yeah, Alabama just. But no, there's no knock on Florida State, because at the end of the day, Alabama is, you know, they got that brand behind them. You know, they known as, you know, one of the blue bloods of the college football world, and you know, they just not that no more, in my opinion, until they show me otherwise. I mean, shout out to Florida State. Florida State rose from unranked to number 14. Michigan at 15, they actually dropped. Michigan dropped one. Iowa State rose up to 16 from 22 last week. SMU dropped. They was at 16, they 17 now. Oklahoma stayed idle. Texas A&M stayed at 19. Ole Miss jumped from they jumped up 1 to 20 from 21. Alabama fell 13 spots from number 8 to 21. Me personally, I would have had their ass out of the ranking, to be honest with you. That's just me. How they played. I mean, no type of, no nothing, just, I don't know what it was. Like, I'm talking about the effort on that field was on display, couldn't stop the run. Just bad coaching all around. Like, coaches act like they ain't got a clue what's going on. So that just let me know, you know, the media is still holding on to the Alabama bias. I would have put their ass out of the rank. They'd have been unranked if I had anything to do with it. So you lose, you go on a road, you get beat by 14 by a team that was 2-10 last year. Unranked. Nah, you'd have been out of the rankings. Tennessee moved up 4. I mean, they moved up 2 spots. They 22 now. Indiana, they 23 from number 20. Texas Tech is number 24. They actually dropped one, and then Utah made an appearance in the top 25. So that is your top 25 for this week. I think they got it right, except with the exception of Alabama. Like, I don't see how Alabama's still ranked, but you know they're gonna still keep them in the loop. But I will say this about Alabama though. This is the first time in 17 years that they have seen this side of the rankings. The last time they were this low on the ranking was at the start of the 2008 season when they came in tied for number 24. And that's the year I want to believe. No, it ain't the year they won a championship, but it was the year that when the dynasty got started. That's when, you know, Alabama was becoming Alabama. And then the next year they won, and then from 09 to up until Coach Saban retired, like, Alabama was one of them ones. So, yeah, man, this is where Alabama at now. You know, they fell from the out of the top 10 for the first time in 17 years. Yeah. So this early in the season. So that was a big fall. That was a major fall for them 13 spots. But you know, it is what it is, man. But yeah, that's all I got about this video, man. I just want to recap my thoughts on the rankings. I feel like they got it right, you know, with the exception of Alabama. And but outside of that, that's all I got. Y'all get ready for week 2. Hope we have another wild week. You know, hey, we here now, man. This college football season here, and this is what it is now. This is where it's at. And I will say this before I get off of here, with this wave or the NIL and the transfer portal, hey man, this championship runs is up for grabs. I don't think it's gonna be no more dominant teams like that. You're gonna still have your well-coached teams like the Georgia Bulldogs, the Clemson Can I put Clemson in there? Yeah, you can put Clemson in there. Those guys, you know, it's still gonna have those well coached teams, but it ain't gonna be no team that's really like, okay, yo, boy, listen, they the ones that say it's gonna be tough now with this NIL and transfer portal. But you know, hey man, that's all I got for now, man. I'm finna get on off of here, man. Y'all be good. And when it come to D to the great, it's all about them dogs. Go Dogs.